Hi everyone, it's time for another episode of Atoms for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around, we're going to be talking about the 2017 film Only the Brave. Only the Brave, based on the true story of the Granite Mountain Hotshots, is the heroic story of a team of local firefighters who, through hope, determination, and sacrifice, become one of the most elite firefighting teams in the nation. The firefighters forge a unique brotherhood that comes into focus as they fight a fateful fire to protect our lives, our homes, and everything we hold dear. It says on the front of the case, the gripping true story of 20 American heroes. On the back it says inspiring, unforgettable, powerful. I think I could agree with that. It's a pretty apt description of this movie. There's quite a few well-known actors in this movie as well. So you've got Josh Brolin as Superintendent Eric Marsh, Miles Teller as firefighter Brendan McDonough, Jeff Bridges as Dwayne Steinbrink, Jennifer Connelly as Amanda Marsh, James Badge Dale as Jesse Steed, that's Captain Jesse Steed, Taylor Keish as Christopher McKenzie or Mac, another firefighter, Andy McDowell as Marvel Steinbrink, Jeff Stoltz as Travis Turbyfill, another firefighter, Alex Russell as firefighter Andrew Ashcraft, and I think that's pretty much the extent of the well-known actors in this movie. So basically, the movie, it really grabs you right from the opening scene with Eric Marsh dreaming about a memory of a past wildfire with a burning bear running by. It's really visually stunning and draws you in almost immediately, and doesn't let go. I love the next scene with Eric driving to the scene of a fire, picking up his crew along the way with AC/DC's Thunderstruck rocking out in the background. And then during the same scene, a helicopter hovering overhead in slow motion while sucking up water out of a swimming pool. It's a real thing during wildfires in real life. If they can't get to a water supply or there isn't a water supply nearby, they'll suck up water from municipal and residential swimming pools. You can really see and feel the brotherly bond of the Granite Mountain Hotshots that they share and have. There's some good humor in this movie and some pretty funny scenes, mostly with Brendan McDonough, or Donut, as his brothers call him, and Mac, Christopher McKenzie, because he's quite a troublemaker. I love the attention to detail in this movie with regards to the lingo and the terminology that they use in regards to being and also looking like hotshots. Then there's the scene when the Grand Mountain Hotshots. Now, I should say, before they became the Granite Mountain Hotshots, which took 4 years, by the way, they were known as Crew 7, Type 2 wildfire firefighters. Basically, Type 2 are the backup to the Hotshots, which are Type 1. They can't do anything with any approval, so they work really hard to become their own hotshot crew. The scene with the Granite Mountain Hotshots, they're driving to their first fire after getting certified as hotshots, listening to Metallica's Jump on the Fire. Can you think of a more apt song for a firefighter? It's pretty cool and funny scene, and just seeing them, they're all rocking out on the bus to jump in the fire. It's pretty funny. Then you move to the scene with the Doce Fire outside of Prescott, Arizona, which is the Granite Mountain Hotshots' hometown. It's pretty interesting, especially when they are tasked with saving a local, almost 2,000-year-old juniper tree. And after saving, I love the group photo in front of it. The real Granite Mountain Hotshots actually did this. It's a really cool photo. Kind of funny too, but really cool. I should mention the main reason they became hotshots was so if there ever was a fire outside of their hometown of Prescott, they could do something without having to get authorization. And this is their first chance to do so. You can really feel the love Eric and his wife, Amanda, have for each other throughout the movie. Even in the scenes where they're fighting, you can tell it's from a place of love because they really care about each other. Then you have the Yarnell Hill fire scene. It's intense, it's intriguing, very detailed in the way events played out, as they would have really happened during this fire. You really get a sense of how fast a wildfire can move, change direction. Donut barely escapes with his life after being tasked as a lookout. The scene, then you got the scene where the Hotshots make the choice to deploy. Now, deployment is an absolute last resort for a hotshot. It is something they will absolutely do everything in their power to avoid doing. They will not do it unless they absolutely have to. Basically, deployment, is when they're behind a fire line or they're surrounded by fire and they have no other way out. They will burn everything around them as much as possible to create a safe zone. Then they will ditch their tools, all their gear, and take shelter under a heat shelter and try and survive the fire. That scene, it's emotional, it's terrifying. As they say early on when they were doing practice deployments, it'll sound like a freight train roaring over your head as the fire comes over you. The wind is like being inside of a tornado. It's absolutely terrifying, and it's heartbreaking as you watch these everyday heroes make a last stand that ultimately results in their deaths. And then there's that line when the rescuers who are sent in after the all clear has been given, the fire's down, to see what happened to the Granite Mountain Hotshots because they've lost contact with them. You hear him say over the radio, 19 confirmed. Sends chills up your spine, and you can really feel Brendan's pain as he listens to this line over the radio. Basically it's saying 19 confirmed dead. Like, they're on scene, nobody has survived. Such a simple line, but so powerful and effective. And then also the scream that is echoed by Amanda Marsh over the loss of Eric after she finds out Eric is dead is chilling and emotional, and it's somewhat primal. Maybe a little bit over the top, for Hollywood, but it really drives the point home of just how painful that loss is for her. And you can really feel the pain felt by the entire town of Prescott as well. And seeing all the families gathered at the school is quite sad. Just the emotion on their face, the pain that they're feeling. And Brendan, as the only survivor, has to deal with all that. The survivor's guilt. Because up until he walks into the gymnasium where they're gathered, all the families knows that 19 of the 20 have died and there's one survivor. They have no idea who that survivor is. And, by Brendan walking in, it confirms their worst fears that their particular loved one is dead. Sorry about that, folks. Dropped my paper there. It's one of the most real, powerful, raw, emotional, and intense endings to a movie I've ever seen. It's very well done, and if you watch the credits, you will see you'll see the actors, who they portrayed in the movie, and then you'll see a photo of the real hotshot they were portraying, while Dierks Bentley's Hold the Light is playing. For a credit scene, it's quite emotional. You get to see who these guys were, see their age, see photos of their family. I mean, some of them were as young as 21 years old. So it was a real tragic situation, that happened. But, they knew the risk they were taking by doing this job. So I definitely recommend checking that part out, sticking around and seeing it. And then just one other little bit of tidbit of information that you'll also see in the credits. I'm just going to pull it up here. I got a photo of it here on my phone. The Granite Mountain Hotshots were the only municipal firefighters to achieve the elite status of Type 1 Hotshot. Since their inception in 2008, they defended thousands of acres of national wildlands, protected countless homes, and saved lives all across the United States. The Yarnell Hill Fire is the greatest loss of firefighters in the U.S. since the September 11th attacks. It really gives you an idea how tragic this is. And in terms of rating, it's got PG-13 on the case. I would say maybe even a 14A. You got some language, some adult themes, and of course the thematic elements with the fire. But I'll leave that up to your discretion. But still, an overall great film, one of my favorite films. And yeah, just great storyline, great production. Great acting. They really do a good job portraying the people that they are trying to portray in a realistic sense. You can feel, relate to the families. You can feel their emotion and their pain in the moment of the tragedy. So, great movie. If you haven't seen it before, do yourself a favor, check it out. Not sure if it's available on any streaming platforms, but definitely available wherever movies are sold. And you will not be disappointed. Only the brave. All right, folks, take care. Have yourselves a great one. We'll see you in the next one.